Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text. We tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree, and this is for the 12th Sunday after Pentecost, and we're looking at the gospel lesson out of Luke, and it's the third time that Jesus has been invited to the Pharisees, a Pharisee's home, where he eats with them, and he notices things, and he notices a social norm that the most important people, or the people that think they're most important, sit at the head of the table, and it goes from there. That's the beginning. The second part of the gospel lesson is that Jesus gives some suggestions on when you hold a dinner party and who you invite. And so, first is that if you're invited to a dinner party, sit at the end of the table. Sit at the kids' table, and then you might be invited, or so that you could be invited up to the important table, rather than if you sit at the important table and then you say someone else more important comes and you get kicked off to the kids' table, though the kids' table's the fun table. Anyway, and so there's that. And then there's the, if you invite someone, invite those that you would not really think about inviting. You might think, oh, I'm going to invite the mayor, I'm going to invite the president. We could have many conversations about that one, but we could invite, whatever, the people that we think important. I'm going to invite the pastor to dinner. I'm going to invite the choir director if that's your world. The people that are deemed important in your circle. For kids, I'm going to invite the most popular kid to my birthday party. I'm going to invite, and all of that. And Jesus says, no, when you're inviting people, invite the outcasts. Invite the kid that's sitting by himself or herself at the cafeteria, at the lunch table. Invite the kid that has that nickname that you only say. We know. I think back into grade school and I think about the nicknames that kids would give to another kid, and it's a really good thing. God is a God of forgiveness, and we can reach out and make reparations of things, because it's just like some of the names you come up with as kids, it's not nice. And so we look at that in this gospel lesson. It says we are called to invite them invite them. Now, that's the thing. I mentioned I use that word them, invite them. This is where I'm going with on this children's sermon, is I'm using from the Dollar Tree invitations for a party. They've got party invitations, and they've got all kinds. They've got baby invitations. But birthday party invitations, you've got that. And all of this has a lot to do with, we focus on who we invite. But what I love about this on both of them is that we as people of God invites us to the table. God invites us into the party. And God invites us with full knowledge that there is no way that we can repay. There's no way that we can repay what God has done for us. We are the lame, we are the poor, we are the outcast. We find ourselves that it's not us and them, it's we as humanity are around that table. So that when we get the invite from God to come to the table, we get to the invite as the person that is broken, the person that is hurt, the person that is outcast, and that we come to the table. Then it's through that, when we look at the table of God, we go, if God invites all of us with we have no chance of repaying, then we can use that as an example that we can reach out. And we're pulled back to 1 John. We love because God first loved us. That it's this ripple effect into the world. So that's really what I'm looking at. It's that we're invited, and then we are called then to invite those that we might consider on the out circle of our world. And the reason all of it comes back to, and the reason we do that, so that with the idea of that we can't be repaid, is that there's no way that we can repay what God has done for us. God doesn't ask that because there's no possible way. it's grace, 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 grace. And that's the beautiful thing. So starting off with the invitations, then looking at maybe who would you invite to your birthday party, and then talk about how we gather around the table for a meal, the communion, as we gather around that table and we receive body and blood, we receive bread and wine, bread and grape juice, we receive a blessing, we are all brought into this meal, and there's no way that we can repay it. And then so that sends us into the world to invite everyone into this table of the Lord. All right, so I hope this can be a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon. As always, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you so much for taking part in this ministry, and have a fantastic week.